Prabhupada's books are going to be the guide for 10,000 years to come. And if you don't turn your attention to those books, being sons of Prabhupada, daughters of Prabhupada, grandsons of Prabhupada, you're just losing your vision. You're becoming blind. You're becoming Hindu. That's what happened to Hindu. Hindu did everything except what he is supposed to do. That's called a Hindu. So you read every other book except Prabhupada's book, and then you boast, I am ISKCON devotee. It doesn't work. So this is the purpose of this course. Please turn your attention to one book first, Bhagavad Gita as it is. Prabhupada said this I have seen and heard with my eyes and my ears. He took Bhagavad Gita like this. This one book is enough. This one book is enough. There is so much to learn in the Bhagavad Gita. Now those who have gone through the first study course on Bhagavad Gita, then you will conduct another study course on Bhagavad Gita. It will be totally different aspect. Same book. You can study for 2 years, 6 years, 6 lifetimes. For eternity you can study Bhagavad Gita. There is no end in studying Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita as it is first, supported by your lifestyle according to nectar of devotion. Not that you simply study Bhagavad Gita, but your life is not according to nectar of devotion, then you are just a scholar, that's all. There is no use. Any Sony tape recorder can do your job. Sony tape recorder, you just press and you speak. But why? It gets liberated? No. Why? Because it doesn't turn 16 rounds, that's why. Doesn't turn 16 rounds, so how can it get liberated? Because the process is turning 16 rounds. This is all for understanding. But the process is always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. That means chant Hare Krishna and do devotional service. So this is why the Swami Kaprikara, even though there are so many Bhagavad Gita lectures in our temple, is still sitting there. It never got liberated. So don't become a Swami Kaprikara. That means nectar of devotion. That means 64 items of devotional service. And among them the 5 most important are staying in holy place. That means staying in association with the temple. That is number 1. Mathura Vad. Nam Kirtan, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then Sadhu Sangha. Associate with those who are chanting Hare Krishna. Not those who keep that hand inside that bag and show the finger to everyone like a 47 gun. But actually those who roll the bead and chant. Not those who suddenly appear somewhere and say so many things, but you don't see them chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You see they are chanting, you hear they are chanting, then you believe. It's American philosophy, right? You see, you believe. So we don't see, we don't believe. So those who don't come to the temple, who don't chant in the temple, we don't believe they are chanting Hare Krishna. We are sorry to say it. It's very simple.
So what about someone chanting home?
Question time has not come yet. Question time and I say question. So those who don't come, when I say this, everybody understand about whom we are talking these things. Don't worry, it's not about you. Don't defend immediately. What about me? I stand at home. You stand at home, who said no? But do you know you stand at home because you understand Bhagavad Gita very nicely. You got A grade. But there are other people who may produce a vision to others that I am chanting at home, but at home also they are not chanting. So best is you can understand. If you have a different schedule, it's an exemption. You are exempted. You got a family, you are an old lady, you got a family to bring up, you have to get your husband to go every week to sell books, you're doing so many things, you know this. So for you it's an exemption. You're worshipping the deity, you're running to the class, so you are exempted. But there are people who simply, by not being in the temple, they think that they are going to be devoted. This is a policy in the California area. I have heard many times. To be a devotee, you don't have to be a devotee. This is their philosophy. See, the sky comes out of that multitude. I used to sigh like this all the time when I hear that. How can you be? To be a devotee, you have to be a devotee. No. You don't have to be a devotee to be a devotee. No. So that's called Mayavad. That's called impersonalist. And he shows up during Sunday service, makes a big hue and cry. Oh, I'm Prabhupada for me. I'm Prabhupada. And Prabhupada told you to chant 16 rounds. So, what happened to that? Prabhupada told come to Mangalarati. What happened to that? And Prabhupada, he was sitting there, and I was next to him, and he told me this. But I'm telling you, I was not sitting next to him, I was very far away, but he told us, chant 16 rounds. Prabhupada told me only one sentence, personally, looking at my face like this. Why you are not cleaning your teeth properly? I'm very proudly disclosing this. And I was there and he told me, and he told you what? He told you to chant 16 rounds. That I know. I don't know anything else. Somebody asked Mahaprabhu, what is the deep meaning of Krishna? But all that I know is black and he's drinking the breast of Yashoda. That's all I know. I don't know any other deeper meaning. So I know only one deeper meaning. The deeper meaning is chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna on your beat in the temple. This is ISKCON. This is the ISKCON that I joined. I didn't join the ISKCON where, I don't know, so many things are going on. But I joined that ISKCON. I'm still in that ISKCON. I would like to be in that ISKCON. Where people chant, dance, distribute books, give out a plate of halava and a glass of nectar drink to Dr. John. This ISKCON. I'm in that ISKCON. And I'm in that ISKCON. I want to be in that ISKCON forever. And that is ISKCON, for your information. Everything else is just Maya. And it can be translated in many ways, according to time, place and circumstance. But the thing is, if I don't see you chanting, according to my understanding, you are not chanting. You please chant. Prabhupada mentioned that to many temple presidents. I didn't see you chanting. So you chant. So one should chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Surya Saman, Maya hoy andhakar. Everything else is darkness. Jahan Krishna, tahan nahi Maya radhikar. Where there is Krishna, there is no influence of Maya. So we studied this book very nicely, and we have given you 3 lessons already printed out, and more lessons are coming. 2 more lessons will be there on this. And because I am rushing to go to San Diego on 11th, it will be available to you from till 11th. Before 11th, I will complete it. It will be available from Hitachi. Now, I want all of you to write your homework and give the homework sheets to maybe Radha Shakti Mataji can collect it when I am not here. And she is always available in the store and everything, so it's easy to find her. So give your homework sheets to her. I am back on 24th for a Namahat program, and then I will correct them and will give you a result. And there's going to be a test on this course also. So only those who have returned the homework can appear for the test. This doesn't mean who doesn't want to go for the test, don't return the homework. At least do the homework. So I did a lot of work, so I also want to see some responses there from you. So you do some work also. So that is fair only. So I did some, you do some. So I can see that you have actually done the homework. And you pass the test, and then you issue a certificate from Rukmini Dwarapati on the 4 books that I have course. Bhagavad Gita certificates, they were getting ready, but then the temple president suggested we are doing another course, so why don't we do it together? So we're going to give you 2 certificates together, each one separate of course. We are not Mayavadi. We give you this one separate, that one separate, but on the same day. And this won't fetch you any job in any factory, this certificate. I'll tell you before. Alright, any questions? Now questions, Mataji. See, those who are not in that particular, how do you say, in that canon of life, like full-time devotees, part-time devotees, who do job outside, it's different. And your case is different, because you got various kinds of responsibilities. With this responsibility, this lady is preaching, she is distributing different things from the Bhagavatam, she is making photocopy of that and he's giving out to people. He's translating it into Gujarati. Prabhupada said, anybody who translates my book, it pleases me. Prabhupada mentioned that. He translated into Gujarati and she gives it out. And she gets her husband, who is not having so much interest in this, getting him to go and distribute books. So much he's doing. And she is coming, serving the dairy. And this evening I saw her running like a little kid coming to the class. I was thinking, my God, this is kid somewhere. What will happen? And she said, no, I'm very strong. My grandmother is still living. So that's all right. But in the meantime, we don't live in illusion. That's the point. We don't think Brahman Satya Jagat Mithya. The world is illusion and truth is somewhere else. That is Mayavad philosophy. The truth is that a person follows nectar of devotion in his life. My explanation was, to study these books, one should follow devotional life, then study these books. If you don't follow devotional life, you study these books, it makes no sense to you. You have to follow devotional practice and study these books. And Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, Nectar of Devotion, Chaitanya Charitamrita, these 4 books are enough. Yes?
I heard Robert wrote something about a connection. Devotees who want to read about these other rastas and they notice there's some kind of deeper, some kind of mundane desire, like sex desire. Is there some connection there?
It is 2 things. One is envy, another is lust. When a person has not actually grasped the gradual study of the book, and he goes here and there, it's because he gets lusty. He wants to show that his heart is already pure. He wants to overshow he is a pure-hearted person. That means his heart is not pure. That means it is lusty. That means he is envious. He goes over the shoulder of the spiritual master. And Prabhupada, in these books, when you study them, you will find, in this connection, you may refer this book. In this connection, one should read this book. Prabhupada says, it is not that Prabhupada is, making a fanatic 4-book program. He has opened you to a whole ocean of Vedic literature. But not before learning alphabet. Trying to write poetry without ABCD is useless. So Bhagavad Gita is ABCD. And Bhagavatam is the graduation. And the post-graduation, that is Chaitanya Charitamrita. So one shouldn't just jump up and down unnecessarily, not necessary. This doesn't mean we don't read any other book. Prabhupada says very clearly in the Bhagavad Gita itself, for this purpose one should study the Sankhya philosophy. And then he gave a separate book on that, Teachings of Lord Kapila. We have that book. We have Beyond Birth and Death. We have Easy Journey to Other Planets, Perfection of Yoga, On the Road to Krishna. How many of us have read these books? But we have to go and study some Lalita Madhava and Vidanta Madhava. Why? What about Easy Journey to Other Planets? Have you read it? Do you know how much information is there in that book? So why go to something else? We have so many books. Prabhupada's books, one lifetime is not enough to anybody. Anybody who said, I have finished them, is just a big fool, that's all. How can you finish? If you read further, like you should have further, so much information is there. How can one say, I have finished Prabhupada's books? It's just a folly, it's just illusion. And due to impure heart, a person goes grasshopper. Eats a little bit of this book, little bit of that book, little bit of that book. Reading a numberless book. Reading various books and giving numberless explanations, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, is an evil activity. It is adharma. One should know a book thoroughly. So, Bhagavad Gita as it is the book. In my personal reading, I have completed Bhagavad Gita as it is many times and still studying. And I haven't started Bhagavatam yet. Second canto I have read up to second canto, that's all. There is so much to know. It's not very easy to study Prabhupada's book. If you really start studying it, you will see the challenge is big. There's a lot of information in it, a lot of cross references in it. And each place Prabhupada says, Bhagavad Gita, he quotes Bhagavatam. In Bhagavatam, he quotes Bhagavad Gita. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, he quotes Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, he quotes Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's so much to study. one can never finish this book. We will finish them, we will continue them in the spiritual world. That's how it is, how these books are written. Because 10,000 years, Prabhupada said, I have started for 10,000 years these books, he was mentioning these books. So where is the person of finishing them? You should study them again and again and again. Bhagavad Gita we studied 10 times, studied again, 11 times, 12 times. All these acharyas gave a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Why did they do that? Because it's a very important book. It is the most important book. Bhagavad Gita as it is. It's the most important book. And then Bhagavatam. While studying, follow the rules of natural devotion. At least the first part. Second part, third part is all high subject matter. But first part at least. How to pay obeisances, how to circumambulate the temple, how to pay obeisances to the devotee, how to respect the sannyasi, how to respect the guru. All this is our natural devotion. How to chant, how to worship Tulasi. So that is our lifestyle. We are Vaishnavas. And those Vaishnavas are many lifestyles they follow. Somebody running a job, somebody may be doing a business, somebody may be a full-time mendicant monk, and they perform their activities according to their duties. But they are all Vaishnavas. There is no higher Vaishnava because he is staying in the ashram, and somebody else is having a job who is a lower Vaishnava. There is no such thing. Vaishnava is a Vaishnava. We never see one up, one down, no. That's another Maya. I am a full-time nonsense. Everybody else is half-time nonsense. But anyway, nonsense is nonsense wherever you do. But if you are a full-time devotee, then he is also devotee, he is half-time devotee, but the devotee. So we see in that respect. That's how one is supposed to see. But this community has been started by a great acharya, is put babies here, so we should all do something for this temple. Even though we are so busy, we have a job, we have a this, we have that, we should do something for the temple. And otherwise it's not proper. You see in this city of Los Angeles, it's a demoniac place, and right in the middle of that, you got Vaikuntha. And that's not that easy. It's here, it's unbelievable that Vaikuntha is here. So we are taking benefit of the Vaikuntha, we must do something for Vaikuntha too. It is both sides. We should do something. We can pick up the asanas after the class and put them. We can do something. Something we can do for the temple. One thing we can do for the temple is open the temple. You don't have to do anything else. Go there, raise your hand and dance and sing. Instead of watching the, Channel 7 news. There is no news there. It's all dead. The news is Krishna is playing flute here. This is the news. The news is Bhagavan is looking like this. That's the news. What is the news? It's not news. It's very old. News should be new. That's all old. Punas Karmita Karvinana. For the performance of your activity, you are driving somewhere, you have to know if the bridge is through there. You can look in the news. That's all right. But that shouldn't be your arati. Every time news comes here to be together. What? Come to the temple, a nice news here. Dance, everybody can take. Take prasad. Vaikuntha is here. And this is how Prabhupada always preach. I have heard him preaching like this. I'm just trying to repeat the same way. He's always said, here is Krishna, here is Vaikuntha. Come. That's how he always said. I've never heard him talking some special subject matter like that. He never spoke those things. He was very simple. He said, chant Hare Krishna. Somebody said, Prabhupada, when I chant, I get tears on my eyes. He said, don't worry, keep chanting, it will go away. You never see him talking always, that type of stuff. Never. It's all frank, simple, down to earth. Read these books, distribute these books, follow the devotion service, chant Hare Krishna, you will go back home back to God in this very lifetime. Yeah. Even if you would have killed the buffalo in your last life, according to your belief, you will go back. Buffalo will also go back. Buffalo will go back before you. Because he doesn't commit any aparat. And Prabhupada said that all these Hare Krishna devotees will be back with Krishna within these 10,000 years. And then after that there will be no more Hare Krishna. And then Kalki is coming with his sword. So we don't have to wait till such time. We can Hare Krishna before and get back home together. Yes, we can and Vicky.
I have a small technical question. Like working with some words. Especially so difficult for the household is usually mentioned to make some sort of difficult. What is the case with the math? What case with some sort of difficult math? Is any...
That's all Pancharatra. There are so many other books by the Goswamis in connection with Pancharatra. I didn't mention all of them. I just mentioned two main books, just to give an example. And mainly our principles are based on Haribhakti Vilas, so I mentioned that. There are so many other books. It's not only 2 or 3. Goswamis have written so many books on how to put Pancharatra. So many books. The whole page is covered by Pancharatra. The view was it's all Pancharatra. Pancharatra has got 5 subject matters. I explained this already in this class. I can revise on that again. Dhyan section of Pancharatra is from the original Vasudeva, original Sri Krishna, how all the expansions come, and what happened when they expanded in the spiritual world, and then what happened when they descended in the material world. Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, all the incarnations, everything, all the Leela. So all the Puranas, whatever is in the Purana is mentioned in Pancharatra. And the second thing is Charya. There you perform your daily activities, collecting the flowers, watering the tulasi, keeping the paraphernalia, sitting properly in asana, doing all the purification, the mudras, the manasa puja, mental worship, and then actual worship, offering, cooking, brushing the deity, putting the deity to sleep, all the different days, the times of the day, what the deities do. All that is there in the next section. Then we have a section on the Naimitika, on the festivals, different festivals, how to conduct them. The different days that come in the year, what to do on Ram Navami, what to do on Krishna Jayanti, what to do on, say, the Mahavishnu turns his body from left to right one time a day, one time in his day. So, what to do at that time. Uttarayana comes, what you do. Makara Sankranti comes, what you do. All this is there in one section. Then Yoga section describes how to align our consciousness together with the absolute truth which is in front of you in the form of a deity or a sovereign. Because we have got body, mind, intelligence, it's all material. Our past is going through this material existence, so we are in material consciousness. How to raise this material consciousness into spiritual consciousness. That is yoga. And the theme of that is standing in the name of God. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So many other things are there. Anganyas, Karanyas, doing the protection and protection from ghosts, goblins, protection from demons and smarters and Mayavadis. So many things are there. So that's all in Pancharatra section. So that's 4. And then finally, installation of a temple. And the different festivals in connection with that. Installation is one subject matter. Because everything is centered in Pancharatra, it is deity worship. And the deity's house is temple. So what is temple? How it looks like. How it should look like. What you should do there. What you shouldn't have. What you can have. How to approach the temple. Where to stand. Where not to stand. What to say. All these rules and regulations are there. That's the installation. Pratishtha. So that is Pancharatra. So Goswamis have written on this subject so many books. But mainly the book is Haribhakti Vilasa. And each Vilas deals with a separate subject matter. So Haribhakti Vilasa is our code of conduct book, which is available in the form of Nectar of Devotion. Sanatana Goswami is the Timingala, and Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu is the ocean of Nectar of Devotion. And the Timingala is going inside that. Let's explain Nectar of Devotion as the book starts. And it has got 4 directions. East, west, north and south. So much subject matter is there in Nectar of Devotion. There are many other books we didn't mention in this. The reason we didn't mention is because we are trying to say 4 books are enough. So if I mention all the books, then what's the joke? I am trying to say 4 books are enough. So if I put 4 books, then it's a futile attempt. By saying all those books, I am telling 4 books are enough. That's great. 4 books are enough. Gita, Bhagavata, Nectar of Devotion, everything is in these 4 books. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to learn Sanskrit. You don't have to go to Banaras. You don't have to go to Mathura. You just sit in your room in London, in New York, in Chicago, anywhere. Take Prabhupada's books, you read them, you turn on Krishna, you offer your food, you take the sadam, you will be back home, back to Garden. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to take bath in Ganga, you don't have to go to Kumbh Mela and see all the naked people, you don't have to do any of this. Life has been made very simple by Chaitanya. What is that? According to Upanishad, Stane Sthita, Sthitigadan Tanuvan Manobi. Be situated where you are and hear about the destination of life and enjoy your body, mind and intellect. This is Upanishad. And Mahaprabhu says the same thing. He says, Grihe Ravi, be at home, Krishna Nama, the name of Krishna, Nirantara Laivo. Constantly chant the name of Krishna, stay at home. You don't have to go anywhere. Then what you do? Yara Depo, Sare Kaho, Krishna Upade. Whomever you see, wherever you go, you give the instruction of Krishna. And Mahaprabhu said, if you do it, Punanapi Vaistami, in this very place, Tairu Mora Sangha, you will get my association. So that is Chaitanya's association brought to us by Srila Prabhupada, and we are going to have some milk now. And after the milk, Srila Prabhu will be leading us into ecstatic chanting of Hare Krishna for 20 minutes. We will see. Just this week. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Madhuri?
The schools of Hamza is taught by the Upanishad, and so in Gita is also one of the Upanishads.
Gita is not one of the 108 Upanishads, but Gita is called Gita Upanishad because it gives the essence of all Upanishads. The subject matter which is discussed in the Upanishad is discussed in Gita, so it is a categorically Upanishad book. Upanishad literally means to sit next to the teacher and learn knowledge. Upanishad. Upa means near. Upanishad. Sitting next to the teacher. For what? For getting knowledge only. Why you sit next to the teacher for? Not for just taking the photograph. You sit next to the teacher so that you can learn something. So that's called Upanishad. And Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata. Mahabharata is the Itihas, epic. And among Mahabharata scene, one scene is battlefield. And there Arjuna asked questions, Krishna answered. So 18 chapters of Mahabharata is Bhagavad Gita. So it is actually coming from Smriti, from Itihas. And Upanishad is Shruti. So categorically these are two different categories of books. But the subject matter is same. So you can say Bhagavad Gita is Upanishad because it discusses that subject. But if you ask the Vedic classification, Bhagavad Gita will be classified as Smriti because it is part of Mahabharata. Mahabharata is Itihas. Itihas is coming from Purana and Purana is Smriti. In this way you should be able to explain the connection of books. That's the idea of this course. So when you pray, your statements become very authentic. It's not that you are groping in darkness, you are saying a few things, and they are saying a few things, and you are saying a few things, and it's all going nowhere. So it's nice to know the situation. And these lessons that you have in your hand, except the names of certain books, the rest of it is all exempt from Prabhupada's purpose. So what we have in this lesson is Prabhupada's books reproduced. I've just taken the trouble of going to various places in these books and take them all and put them in one place. That's my job here. So what you read in this lesson is not authored by Artha Tattva. It is Prabhupada's statement. So don't take those statements cheaply. They are Prabhupada's own statements from the book. I have just hidden what verses are there, where are they from, that's all, so that when you read a lesson there is some chronological reading. I will put in between brackets this verse, that verse, like that. So it makes a good study of a particular subject matter. It is all from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and Chaitamrita, Upanishad and teachings of Lord Chaitanya. It is taken from the books are the basis. Books are the basis.